This is Practical Prince. We're doing talk and tarot, so feel free to drop in your questions. We'll be doing live readings for the next hour, and we'll just do as many as we can with the time we've got. Sorry if the audio quality isn't as good as it usually is. Just haven't been able to get the sound working quite right. Finicky cord. So if you'd like to donate, that can help remedy the problem. But trying to do this hobby on a budget, so we'll try and be respectful of that. I'm just going to finish setting up our camera. It's just so high today, but that's fine. I'll shuffle some cards while we're waiting for questions to come in. There we go. I feel like I've got so much space now that I moved the microphone this time since it's not working, so yeah. So I've got so much unused space over there, but it's all good. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're getting ready to enjoy the weekend. We're still going to continue with tarot time on Wednesdays, so doing readings for posts online, and talk and tarot on Fridays. We'll continue that for at least another 2 weeks, just to give it a good feel for the time. So far, it's kind of nice, not being subject to the absence or presence of people for readings, so that's a positive. But yeah, still need to work on being able to follow up consistently, and I think it's going to help because we've cut back on how many readings we're doing. So then it's just a matter of me following up on making the posts. And who knows, I might cut out including the YouTube link, just because YouTube isn't immediately available after I do the post, but I have all the other information. So we might call that good enough, just so that I can be more on top of that after a session of tarot time. That's probably enough shuffling, huh? Should do another deck. Sorry for the late start today, but can only do so many things so fast. And other knows, I know some of you know, just because I mention it sometimes, because it'll relate to questions and how I'm answering versus how they're asking. But I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and this weekend we have an event called General Conference, which you can watch online if you're interested. So that's what I'm looking forward to this weekend. You're welcome to watch if you're interested. If not, that's totally fine. Okay. one more shuffle. Call that good for this deck. Let's see where we have it. 2 more. And yeah, feel free to ask your questions or just chat, talk. It's my fault for giving us a late start, but it is what it is. I should probably come up with some sort of standby, starting soon. I might be able to do something like that, because they've got options for, they just added stuff for presentations. So I might not be able to change like the background. I won't be able to brand that or anything, I think. But I could probably put up an image or something in lieu of being able to speak live. So, won't be all that exciting. And yeah, because let me see where they're at with music. Okay, so there's a few options. I'll just have to check those out at some point, because they did cut back on what was available. And I remember we didn't really care for any of those sounds. So. If we're going to have any sort of standby screen, then we would want something playing. Last deck, you can probably see the spread machine, spread weaver. That's not something we shuffle, because that's just used for constructing spreads, as far as like predetermining the layout, which for the most part I just do on the fly. Sometimes it seems appropriate, but it's been a while since we've used that. Slight bend going on. That's okay. Oop. Alright, we're all shuffled and set and ready to go, for the most part. Yeah. Do need to... Yeah. Stuff. But it is what it is, so... Let's see if I can find... That's not what we're interested in. The file for one of the decks, the guide for one of the decks, has been relocated. And since we're so chatty, okay, I'll go ahead and see if I can find it again. Yeah. And I don't know, it might automatically share it once I add it in. I think I turned off that setting because it was kind of annoying. I can't really set anything up if it's going to switch to it. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's where we're at for today. So if you've got questions, want a reading, let me know. Otherwise, I will idle the time for a little bit before calling it good. It's kind of expected when I get a late start that we don't have the same turnout. And that's on me. Just need to do something about better sleep and being on top of it in the morning. Those things are working out more slowly. So it'll just be a bit. I know we should have good connections with all the platforms. Yeah. So no issues there. I realize I should really follow up on the ones that I can't chat to. That's the one limitation with this software. Hey, zombie. How's it going? Because yeah, I can send this video to more platforms than it will allow chat to come from. So wish they'd work on enhancing that, but they're probably at the whims of those platforms making that sort of thing available. You've seen me now. Good week so far? About a year now. Excellent. Yeah, I started last February. I started doing tarot more consistently after a few months, but yeah, as far as when I started streaming, yeah. Thank you. It's been interesting. Ready for the weekend? Good luck following up on all of it. Hopefully we can catch them all. Yeah. So if you have a question, I can do a reading if you'd like. Hey Lisa, doing well. How are you? But it is talk and tarot. So if you just want to chat, some people prefer that. But yeah. And I guess I've really only been doing readings since I've been streaming. So that is the length of my background. Yes, I'll go ahead and do the zombie, and then Lisa will do yours. I guess it is officially. Let's see. Looks like we're doing this now. So this is the Prisma Vision stack by James R. Eads. Briefly reshuffled, so we'll just go here. Yeah. A lot of my decks I pick because of the aesthetics, so I do like this one. Let's see. Let me set these aside. I don't need those. Those not yet. That might be all the details we're doing. Let me check. Okay. And then let me see if I can get any details before we flip. This one feels like it will present itself first. And I really do mean present, because it's almost like this one will grab your attention in some way and get your focus, which isn't to say that this won't be ongoing or even happening starting before that, but uh, yeah, yeah, that's all we've got. So let's go ahead and flip. We've got Temperance and we've got Judgment. So Temperance, um, I really think of this one as moderation. Um, it's balance. Um, not too much, not too little. Goldilocks, just right sort of stuff. As far as this grabbing your attention, I don't know if you're just naturally inclined towards a sort of stable balance, um, or at least aiming for that, which isn't bad, but it almost seems like it might be a bit of a distraction. Um, not long term by any means, just that even though balance is a good principle, um, sometimes those highs and lows are useful for different things, just depending on the situation. That's what we're getting from there. Judgment focuses on moving forward, or rather making a decision to move forward. We've got a blue background here and a more vibrant um, other side as far as the door goes. The emphasis here, a decision needs to be made to move on, um, to invigorate life in a sense, or at least it'll have that effect. Because staying where you are, it gets a bit stagnant. And there's a worry that if you're doing that too consistently, you kind of kill your soul slowly over time. Whether that's the numbing sensation or just suppressing yourself to the point of you don't really know who you are. Now, that's um, pretty strong as far as the like hyperbole. I don't get the sense that you're dealing with that sort of extreme, um, but that explains what the nature of that is. So, um, I mean, as far as help with the Judgment card, it really focuses on making a decision and just going forward with that. It doesn't focus so much on right or wrong. It might be more important just to do something, to decide and follow it through. And that's not to say that you can't change your mind, come back and visit, uh, but leaving things undecided, um, it's not going to work out long term. It just leaves you hanging and sort of at the whims of others. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions. Um, and best of luck getting through that. And let's go ahead and get Lisa's question on screen. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done anything with tarot, like as far as other psychics or tarot readers. So it's kind of interesting because like I've got the influences of the guides I get with the decks and what those authors, their interpretations are. It's like losing midnight. But like I have no idea what the norm is for other tarot readers and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe I should check some out. Consider it market research or something. I wouldn't know. So I guess everyone is a unique experience. In which case, I might as well just be me. Can't take that. That's right. Okay. Then what else? Just so so there's a song. And another in the place my deafness. Usually don't go outside. Temporary. Probably made it April. That's all about April. Blues. Is this just further on, or is this long term? Doing mixes that way. No, that's not right. Okay. Got a few, so it might be a bit cluttered, but early April. This will probably start within the next couple of days. This is a tempered pair, so we've got the primary on top, and then the secondary one, the one on bottom, will modify it in some way. This one I'm planning to kick in around mid-April. These are not speaking to April. These are long-term. This one presents itself as a fact. So just a reality of your love life, or something to that effect. Or rather, I guess, to be more clear, because love life would potentially include marriage. But yeah, this is more focused on the dating period, the courting period. So fact, and this is a guiding principle, just to help you through. So we'll start with the answer to your question. We've got the Queen of Wands, as well as Five of Swords. Okay. And then over here, we've got Knight of Pentacles. Okay. I think I'm going to reference the guide just to make sure I get these right. Queen of Wands doesn't come up so much for me. The interpretation that's coming to mind is specific to Cosmo. And then Knight of Pentacles, I'll also want to refresh it on. So, this is technically a different deck, but this was the precursor to the deck we're using. Let's go find our Queen of Wands. Okay. Mother archetype. This may be someone who's in your life, who can be an artisan, an entrepreneur, counselor, or leader. She is intensely loyal and in touch with her intuition. This card can appear as an influence. It is a moment where your ideas are flourishing. Stay confident and close to your spiritual practice, because now is a moment that your magic and passionate vision will be brought to the forefront. Nurture your dreams and give them birth. The universe is supporting you. Okay. And let me get a sense, because sometimes it is speaking of an actual person. Okay. So the gist, we just read that one. Five of Swords deals with conflict and suggests that it might be better to step away from said conflict rather than trying to force your way through it. So as the combination of this, it really does seem like focusing more so on yourself, on other aspirations you have, dreams you want to chase, and leaving the dating scene, not excluding yourself per se, but certainly not focusing on that, not really giving that your time or concern. If it happens, it happens, but you're not going to worry too much about that. And Knight of Pentacles, also wanted to double check. So let's go find them. Yeah. Suggests that diligent work and a methodical approach are the keys to a greater growth. The Knight strategizes and sets a realistic goal. The phrase strong and steady wins the race holds true when this card shows up in the reading. This Knight is loyal and dependable, a natural protector. The Knight asks you to work with goals that are realistic and measurable. The obstacles that are in your path will be removed through studied and deliberate action. Use the pragmatic energy of the Knight right now. It is what is needed for you in order to make your next move forward. And again, this kicks in mid-April. Really, the focus is realism, realistic expectations. So let me see if I can, because you're asking in the context of love life. This obviously went away from that. Yeah, probably the best way to put this is focusing on baby steps. It'll help with setting appropriate expectations and making progress, albeit slow progress, but steady progress towards your goal. So that's the answer as far as love in April. Um, and now, fact and principle. We've got 7 of Cups for the fact, and then we've got Knight of Wands for the guiding principle. 7 of Cups suggests there's a lack of clarity, that it's hard to see, that options and paths are not all they appear to be at times. There's an issue distinguishing fact and fiction, but the focus for this, as far as it relates to you, is that some prospects which seem good might not be, some which don't seem all that great are. Some things which seem wonderful for long term are not going to pan out, and it really, messes with expectations. This isn't anything new for the dating scene and whatnot. It's really just emphasizing the fact that we don't know. We're dealing with people, and they do all sorts of weird things. They're just really hard to gauge at times. A lot of the time, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. So, fact for the guiding principle, the Knight of Wands is the Knight of Love, as far as this deck goes. Or actually, I'm thinking of a different knight. Let me go ahead and read this one, just to make sure, because I think I might be mixing with the Knight of Cups. Shows up when there's a bold, empowering movement in your life. The Knight encourages you to move forward with passion. An important message is about to be delivered. You are embarking on a spiritual quest, awakening to a deep truth. If you're waiting for certain principle or certain messages to come through, now is the time. This card shows up as an auspicious moment for moving into a new home, finding new work or progress on a project. The Knight inspires those around him. There's fast movement in one area of your life, so be prepared. Now, that's all well and dandy, but you're asking about love life and it's speaking to that. So let me suss out the parts that are relevant. Because the move forward with passion, we already picked up on that. I thought I was thinking of Knight of Cups. We've still retained that. I mean, there's the auspicious element, but oh, give me a sec, Casey Libra. I'll get there. It does speak to good, following your heart. You do get some positives. There are also going to be negatives. So I don't want to play up the auspicious too much, Um, the main thing we're getting from this, following your heart. Um, Not that it will always be good. Um, I guess long term, it will always work out in your favor. So, and this isn't just love life. You can apply this to other areas of your life, but that's the focus here. So, okay. Um, Let me go ahead and clean up. No problem, Lisa. Casey Libra, it is not a replay. It says Restream because that is the name of the product. And I am too cheap / poor to pay for the option to remove branding. So I've mentioned it to them and their reply is pay up. So sadly, it's just a thing that is there to confuse people. I don't feel like I shuffled that enough. Let me mix that. Okay. So yeah, Restream is the name of the platform I'm using. It allows me to send video to multiple places. You're on Twitch, for example. Lisa is on YouTube, and we can see your chats on the side there. So it allows some cross-platform communication without having to pigeonhole me on just one. It does allow me to send video to more places than can comment back. Like I've got it set up for like 9 different sites, but there's only like 3 or 4 that I've ever seen comments from. But I've definitely seen some viewers, as far as the analytics go, pop in on others. And maybe it's just because those are foreign sites and maybe English just doesn't work well at that point. They popped in and realized it wasn't for them. But yeah, so that's why I use it, and that's why there's branding, and that's why it's problematic for people because they think it means it's old. But no, I'm live. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. No, this has been set up for the better part of a year at this point. I don't remember when I set up all the stuff. That's a fair question. Because I definitely did just some of the Twitch setup. I can't remember when I followed up and did more of the details like tarot category, add in the schedule for people to reference. That might have been 6 months ago, maybe. It might have been shorter than that. So yeah, we're probably looking at around that time frame. Well, I only stream so much. I used to do 3 days a week. Now I just do 2. So yeah, it makes it a little harder for the stars to align for some people. But I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. definitely can be exhausting. I follow a more Christian tradition, so I, even if I were to do this full time, I would have at least a Sunday off. Um, and it sort of gets hard to plan other things, um, to have a social life, because when you do it every day, it can start to feel like a chore and a job, more so than fun hobby, helping people, um, whatever aspect you're in. So, and I don't know, like for myself, the most frustrating thing as of late, um, is when I get on for live readings like this session, um, and don't get a lot of turnout, because then it feels like I'm wasting my time to help no one. So, and as far as that goes, um, the two remedies I found, and I'm not very consistent about them, is just consistency, which if you're doing every day, that helps. But like I guess consistent on the time, because like this session started late and it took a while for anyone to hop on. Um, but then the other thing is um, alerting people and social media, that sort of stuff, which I'm not exactly sure how effective it is. Um, that's one area I still need to work on. But yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and it's interesting because like I'm based in the U.S. I live in Utah, um, but I have a number of people who live elsewhere. Like I know I had a regular in Canada. I have regulars in India, and when I used to do middle of the day because I was between jobs, um, they were like, "This is nearly midnight for me," and stuff like that. So I switched to doing this early morning, um, and then I did Wednesday in the evening. I figured that would be pretty good balance, and then I kept Monday at the same time, basically. Um, so we should have hit most times. Monday I had to drop because got a job, so that's that's that. Um, it's odd, but this session tends to be more popular than the Wednesday session, and I've actually changed the Wednesday session to not do live reads. I'll read for social media questions that I find there. So that's interesting. I mean, sometimes I would have a good Wednesday session, but a lot of the time it would be just a couple people. And Fridays I would get half a dozen, even though I would have 2 hours on Wednesday and just an hour here on Fridays. So it's been interesting. Yeah, it definitely doesn't favor the US so much having the so, well, I guess East Coast wouldn't be so bad, but yeah, yeah. Anyways, it is what it is. You live and you learn. So that's what I've observed from my streaming. I do have, I did have one Twitch person who was like that. Um, they, for a little while, a couple weeks, they were pretty consistent about hopping on first and just chatting. But most people do want to read. And so it might just be how you're presenting it. Right. Well, and if you get people, then you probably don't need to worry about that. You might be big enough that your time's well spent regardless. I am not that big. But yeah. I hear about Discord. I know people have Discord. that just never worked well for me. Like, I had an app, I got it because a group wanted to do D&D during the pandemic. Um, but, like, half the time it'll stop sending me notifications, and then I'm just out of the loop. And so as far as, like, being responsive to people, using it for messaging, basically, it loses out for me. Just because it just doesn't feel reliable. And maybe that's resolved by just regularly checking in or something, but, yeah. Probably not gonna do anything on Discord. I don't know if there's probably a generic tarot Discord out there somewhere. I might just participate in something like that for a bit if I wanted to dabble, but I doubt I would set up my own. So you've found it started working. Okay, that's good. I mean, part of me is naturally, yeah, part of me is naturally introverted, so group conversations are hard for me to get into. So I'm more interested in the one-on-one anyways. But oh, that's a lot of time to spend. I guess. So as far as I've been doing tarot, I've just always been doing it free. Are you charging, and is that working out for you? Okay, that's a lot of time to spend on a hobby. Yeah, same. So, well, are you still spending all that time on it? Okay. So would those just be for the tarot readers then? Okay, so more broad than that. Okay. I feel like a lot of people drawn towards spirituality in its many forms tend to have fairly strong empathy. Um, and without someone to connect with, sort of wither, lose energy. I don't know if that means they're extroverted. Um, they might not necessarily want to reach out to people, but they definitely thrive on people, I think. So, yeah. And I'm definitely more introverted. So my problems lie the other way. That's an interesting problem. 'Cause, I guess I'm just trying to think of um, addressing that, because you can definitely make connections with people over Discord and through streaming, um, but you'll definitely get a stronger connection with someone in person. But I don't know if you're in an area where it's easy enough to do that. And I don't know if it specifically needs to be spirituality. Um, okay, so going out is more painful or potentially hazardous. So, oh, okay, so socially, that's rough. And yeah, okay. Well, culturally, it's rough. I mean, unless you have an abundance of extrovert energy and are willing to start a group yourself, basically, it'll be rough. So, right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm curious. Okay. I'm curious if there's a reason you stay where you are as opposed to, well, moving somewhere else. Like does work or family keep you in the area? That is very, very true. Yeah. And it's not like buying a home is a great alternative either. So, not in today's market. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking you must not be fond of traveling. Um, Zimnox Box? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Yes, free readings. Go ahead and ask a question or let me know if you want a general reading. Um, yeah, Casey, that's an interesting one. Sure. Um, um, Zimnox Box. Do you have a particular time frame or person or just generally? You should probably consider it, Casey. At least work through the idea. Not to say that you need to move. Okay. Um, and certainly now might not be the best time to move, but you should probably spend some time working through it. Interesting. So this is the Lost Forest. Who are you putting there first? I think that might be it. Let me check. This one is leading. I'm trying to get a sense if that's of what it's leading, I suppose. Because I'm not sure it's a person. It might just be a principle that needs to be embraced. It might be covering a few things, so we'll find out more when we flip. This one, it seems to need some love and care when we interpret it. So, um, yeah, we'll go through what its normal meaning is, but don't cling to that too fast, because that one needs some extra care for some reason. We've got 3 of oceans and 2 of earth. This would normally be 3 of cups and Two of Pentacles in other decks. The Three of Oceans focuses on unity and harmony, being in sync. So as far as applying this to your life, it's finding those pieces that fit and leaning into that. And eventually, after you collect enough pieces, you find the perfect spot. Two of Earth. There is a sense of partnership. The other thing that comes with this is adaptability, change to a certain extent. So as far as, let me see what the concern with that was. Okay. Yeah, it's similar to the focus we got on the three. Ignore the part about partnership. It's the real focus here is adapting and adaptability, and more so as you learn and evolve, you'll become a different person for the better. But I think at the end of the day, you might not recognize yourself, which isn't bad. For some people, it's a bad transformation, but with you, you're finding those things that make you better. And yeah, picking them up, collecting them, like we said. So yeah, that's the main interpretation. As far as other notes, I probably wouldn't worry too much about relationships in the near future, just because you've got something of an evolving nature going on. So these will be learning experiences more often than not. So, yeah. Let me know if you've got questions on that. But yeah, I'll go ahead and clean up. Okay. Just want to make sure you're good. No problem. Okay. And unfortunately, I need to wrap up because it's time for me to be going to work. So, thanks for tuning in. Fun chatting, fun doing readings. Again, we'll be here next Friday for the live readings. Next Wednesday, we'll be doing readings for posts from online. And yeah, hope you have a great week, wonderful weekend.